Okay, here are the notes. The second part for reflections. So notes, reflections, part 2. Right, hopefully part 1 is really easy. Here is where it's going to get a little tricky, all right? So make sure you watch the whole video. It's going to start off pretty easy, but then it's going to turn into something else. So here we go. So now instead of using the y-axis as your line of reflection or the x-axis, they're going to come up with different lines. So it's not just going to be an axis that you're reflecting one point or one image to the other side, or one point or one image from this side to this side. Okay, so now let's review graphing these lines. They're going to ask you to reflect a point or a shape along a particular line. So let's say let's start with y. Let's say I have y is equal to 9. If they ask you to reflect something along the line y equals 9, you have to, again, you're going to treat it like an x or a y axis, but you're not using the x and the y axis. So what would be that line of reflection? Well, where's the y axis? Here. Where's y9? Positive 9 would be right here. Okay, but it's not a point. This is an equation of a line. This is a line. This is a line. Now it cannot be a line that goes through 9 like this, like the y-axis, because actually wouldn't it be going through all the numbers? So it's not going to run like the y-axis. It's going to be this line. It's going to be a horizontal line. This is the equation of the line y equals 9. And think of it this way. This line is crossing the y-axis at 9. Okay, so it's not going to go like the y-axis goes like vertical up and down. It's going to go this way. If I want to get the equation of the line y equals, right, this one's y equals 9. If I want to get the equation of the line y equals 5, I go to the y, I go to 5, and it's this line. It's a horizontal line that's crossing the y-axis. It's going across. It's not going to be up and down like the y-axis. Okay, so this one would be the equation of the line y equals 5, and then obviously y equals 4, y equals 3. The x-axis is actually y equals 0, right? And then if you have any negative numbers, well, let's say if I get this one here. What is the equation of this line that's crossing the y-axis at -3? Well, then that one would be y equals -3. Okay? So these are horizontal lines. Okay, and the same thing's going to happen for vertical lines. What would be the equation of x equals -4? What would be the equation of a line x equals -4? Well, you go to the x-axis, you go to -4, and it can't be this one. It can't go the same way as the x-axis. It's the opposite way, right? So here's x, here's -4. This is the equation of the line, x equals -4. It's crossing the x-axis at what point? At -4. This one's x equals -4. Okay? And one more like this. What about x equals, what about the equation of the line x equals 6? Well, you go to the x-axis, I go to +6. Here's x equals +6. Again, it can't be this way or else you'd be hitting all the numbers. It has to be like this. It has to be the line that hits the x-axis only on 6. All right, so it doesn't run the way the x-axis runs. It runs perpendicular to it, right? All right, so let's see some problems like that. So again, everything else is going to be the same except for your line of reflection is not going to be an x or a y axis. It's going to be like this. Okay, so here's an example. I'll put two of them here. Reflect, and let's say point A is at -5, 6. Here's A at -5, 6 right here. Along the line, x equals -2. See, it's not asking you to use the x-axis or the y-axis or the x-axis. I have to first find this line of reflection. So where is x equals -2? Well, go to the x-axis, go to -2. All right, right here. This is x equals -2. Right there, crossing the x-axis at what number? At -2. So it's kind of like, again, like we saw in the previous assignment, this is where you're going to fold it over, right? If it's on this side of the line of reflection, well, it's going to reflect on the opposite side. So it's like folding it over. But what did we learn to do? Well, just count. How many spaces or units, or what's the distance from there to that line? Well, it's 3. So you just count what? 3 the other way. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is the pre-image, so the image 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's going to be what? A prime. And then now you can easily find the coordinates for A prime. That's going to be what? 1, 6. Okay. Let's use this same point, and for number 2, no, I'll pick a different point. Reflect point B, and I'll just stay here, right? I can do 2 problems here. This is point B. Let's put point B right here. Oh, and I'll put it over here. Let's go with 4, -7. Reflect this point along the line y equals what? Let's see, -2. That's your line. You got to first get this line of reflection. Where's y is equal to -2? Y is equal to -2 is, well, I go to the y-axis. Here's -2. Here's the line y equals -2. And so now how do I reflect this point along this line, right? This is y is equal to -2. Well, you count how many spaces it's from point B to that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, it's almost like, remember, that's the line where you're folding this point over, and it's gonna appear on this side. So if it's 5, I count 5 this way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That means this is the image, B prime. If it's here and it got reflected, right, it's like if you folded it over, remember that's a reflection. So you just count. If it's 5 this way, you count 5 this way, and that's the coordinates, or that's where the image is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay, so what is the answer for the reflection of B along this line? Well, what are the coordinates of this? 4, 3. All right. Okay, watch the other video. It's going to be something a little bit new. Okay, that's the first one.